Hi everybody, here we are again working on our abuse. You're going to have some days, and I ended up calling them the dark days, that will happen while you're going through your recovery. It's really hard to explain it, but I call them the dark days because I'd be fine and doing the work and fine, and then I'd just hit a day or a morning or an afternoon and it'd be like a really dark place. And I knew that I was releasing a lot, but I felt terrible. I didn't want to see people. I didn't really feel like eating. I just wanted to haul myself up and go and hide in a corner. That's how it actually feel. It's like I go into a little bit of a semi shutdown. I think it's the abuse coming out. I think that's how we felt. And sometimes it'll just gather up and we'll have a really dark day. If you have one of those, you're not going backwards. You're actually just going through it. But they feel really, really bad. If you get terrible and you start to feel, and I'll be honest here, suicidal, you need to get help. Ring a friend, ring a lifeline, go to hospital, whatever it is, because a day will actually pass. If you're really bad, you can have one or two in a row, but that's usually when you had terrible abuse. Usually it's a 12 to 24 hour gateway that you have to get through, and I found I just distracted myself. I remember I was having a really shocking day, and one of my sons just said to me, "Hey mum," because we had like he'd made a little mini theatre room. "Hey mum, come on, let's go and watch. I'll put something on for you. Go away for a while. Just go and watch something for a while. Go away," which is really good advice. So I went and watched some terrible program that was a series, so you could just do a bit of a veg out, and watched I think 3 episodes in a row just to help me get through the day. On those days, if you can't go to work, don't go to work. You just have to have a mental get better day. That's what I call it, to your mental health, and just stay home. Don't answer the phone if you don't want to. Tell your partner or whoever is with you who needs to better contact you that you're just going to put it on don't disturb, and they're the only phone call that comes through. Don't try and deal with anyone difficult that day. If anyone's having a nervous breakdown or a meltdown, just wait a few hours until you're strong enough to deal with them in the family or whatever. I think these days are really, really hard, but remember, they're just emotions, and that's how I got through. I just thought to myself, okay, these are just emotions. This is just how I'm actually feeling, and emotions are transient and they don't last. So if I keep letting the emotions feel their way out, I won't have that as much. Because what you will find with abuse is you can do a lot of things that are mental things and talking about it and whatever, going to therapy and speaking to your friend or whatever, but sometimes you won't be able to get rid of it out of the body without actually feeling it. It'll be a feeling thing. You'll feel the hurt, you'll feel the anger, you'll feel the despair, you'll actually feel it, you'll feel the depression from it. And just remember that emotion can pass, because what you're doing is clinging stuff out, so it's coming up and out, and the only way it can come out is that it gets expressed. Sometimes doing things like being near water is good. Have a longer shower than normal, have a nice bath. If you can go to the pool, go to the pool or the beach. Be in nature. But don't expect to feel good. That's the most important thing. That you feel like crap, you're going to feel like really super crap, and you let yourself feel it until it passes, and then it will lift and it will pass. If you need to eat a bowl of ice cream or eat all the Tim Tams, I'm in Australia, so I have to explain that. They're chocolate biscuits that we have here. So if you need to eat the whole packet today, so be it. Doesn't matter. You just got to have to get through the actual day. I tended to haul down and just go into my own space. I did all the mother things because I was going through this when I still had kids at home. Therefore, I had to make sure I did have a meal. So I'd just ring up my husband and say, "It's takeaway tonight, buy fish and chips or chicken and chips or something." And that's how I helped myself. And I didn't particularly reach out to anyone else because I felt for me I wasn't that bad that I had to do that. But also I was so untidy, I just needed to be in my untidy emotional or mental state and get through it. The dark days get less. You'll sort of have them, and then after a while you'll have less of them. That's what I've found. It's like the ripple in the pond. The ripple gets further and further away. And then occasionally you'll just have one. You're like, oh, I'm having one of those days. And that's when you just get out of everything. If you're supposed to go to some function and you don't think you can do it, don't go. The people won't make any difference in the end with the people. They won't care. But for you, it'll make a huge difference because it'll be such a hard thing for you to do on that day. I found I couldn't put my fake mask on, the social thing where people ask you how you are and you say you're fine, but you're not. I couldn't do it, so I didn't even try and do it on those days. I just stayed home and be in my own little sanctuary, and that worked for me. The dark days are bad. I'm not going to say they're not. And the feeling during it is really, it's close to excruciating, actually. It really feels shocking. However, I always just saw it as my little girl couldn't express it, so now she sort of was letting it out, or sort of letting that pain out, so it was okay to do it. Think of it like that. It's like a cathartic kind of thing that you're doing. Doesn't feel good at the time, but it sure does a big clean out. And then also be really nice to yourself when you get past the dark day. Buy yourself a bunch of flowers, or let yourself go to the movies, or buy yourself some of your favourite food, or spoil yourself in the next few days to honour yourself that you got through it. It's something people never talk about, but it can be really hard to go through, and you'll often be on your own with it, in a sense, because no one else understands how it feels. Just don't do anything stupid. Don't be cutting yourself or doing anything like that. Just try and get through it and understand what it is, and you'll be less likely to do it because you're not trying to stop it from coming out. Sometimes I think writing about it is kind of good too on the day. Just write out how you're feeling, and you can get rid of some of those. If you really need to go and see someone, though, you go, because it's big stuff. It's really big stuff, and you need to understand that it is big stuff and you're going through a really hard time. I tended to be able to be all right because I lived in a family unit, and my partner knew, husband knew, the kids kind of knew. I didn't make a big deal about it, but they just know I was having not such a great day today. You'd often have an accompaniment of a migraine as well, a headache, your back hurts, you'll have an upset stomach. You can often have physical things happening on the same day, which isn't so great, but just understand that's like how your body's clearing it out. You're going to get better. So the dark days are bad, but they are going towards a better life, and that's how I want you to see it. I want you to see them positively as clean outs. That are your clean out days, and to take really good care of yourself on those days, and let other people take good care of you too. If they live with you and they want to be nice to you, just take it on. Like, yes, thank you, because we can never have too much love, can we? We can never have too much love. I'm wishing you a few dark days, not too many of them, but I'm wanting you to understand what they are. If you've had them already, you'll know what it is. People use words like meltdown. You just had a meltdown, and that's what it kind of is for you. It's kind of a meltdown from the abuse, but it's from before. It's not a present day meltdown. It's like coming from before. Okay, I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'm hoping you're getting better day by day.